What is going on, guys? Thank you very much for tuning in. Today, we're going to be going over the Thoughtless series. More specifically, a book review on Thoughtless and what I think is really the driving force to dating nowadays. So the question is, how has dating and relationships evolved in 2019 pushing forward? Well, ever since the trilogy of 50 Shades of Grey has launched, or it was brought to light in cinema, now you have couples who want to dive into these BDSM lifestyles and they want to experiment more and all this stuff. But quite frankly, they failed to set in stone the necessary fundamentals to a prospering relationship, and that is called trust. What I learned from reading the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy, as well as diving into a new take on contemporary romance, are three reasons why people cheat on each other. More specifically, because Thoughtless is based from a woman's point of view, I'm going to tell you why there are three main reasons why a woman's going to cheat on a man, or other woman, whatever you're into. Before we get into that, we have to understand that any relationship you get into, you must feel like you know the person and obviously like the person, but really trust the person when you're at your most vulnerable, and that's what really prospers a relationship. So in this Thoughtless series, I'm going to give you a synopsis of what you can expect. For almost 2 years, Kira's boyfriend, Denny, has been everything she's ever wanted. Loving, tender, and endless devoted to her. When they head off to a new city to start their new lives together, Denny at his dream job and Kira at a top-notch university, everything seems perfect. Then an unforeseen obligation forces the happy couple apart. Feeling lonely, confused, and in the need of comfort, Kira turns to an unexpected source. A local rock star named Keelan Kyle. At first, he's purely a friend she can lean on, but as her loneliness grows, so does their relationship. And then one night, everything changes, and none of them will ever be the same. So what was my take on the book Thoughtless? The main character is Kira, and just like every young relationship, she thinks that she can have it all when she hasn't even experimented enough yet. So if you're young, if you're 25, hell 27 and under, understand that you're not going to have your relationships figured out. And you're not going to be able to really marry or settle down until you experimented enough. I see it all the time where I have people on my Facebook page and on my Twitter page and my LinkedIn page, and people are getting married at a very young age, from 18 to 25. Do I believe that is too young? Yes. And this book is going to tell you why. You haven't felt enough to really settle down yet. Now, some people say that they found the one. Believe it or not, most of the 40-year-old or 30-year-olds that I speak to tell them that their first marriage fell apart for main reasons. They got in too fast. You really have to know the person. So what was one of the things that I took away from this book why a woman's going to cheat on a man? The first one is going to be there is no close proximity. In order for a relationship to work, you actually have to be there. You have to physically be present. Long distance relationships don't work, and this is one of the reasons why. Because at one point, just on the synopsis, you're going to see that an unforeseen obligation forces the happy couple apart. Feeling lonely, confused, and in need of comfort, Kira turns to an unexpected source. Your woman or man, doesn't matter, is going to turn to an unexpected source. They need that close proximity. They need that human touch. We are social creatures. And you have to understand that long-distance relationships work only for a temporary amount of time. If it's longer for a certain amount of time, which is the variable, when do things start getting askew, then it's either time to move on or address the situation and find a better method to keep that relationship intact. The second reason is because there's no romance. And when I mean romance, I'm talking about sex. You need sex in a relationship. If you have no sex, then, well, in need of comfort, where is that person going to go? To whatever is next available. But romance isn't just sex. It's the things that lead up to it. It's the gifts. It's the words of affirmation. It is the gestures. It is the services. It is being able to be there and comfort that one person when they're at their lowest lows because they just have no one else to confide in. It's called confidence, and you need to confide into someone in a relationship for it to work. And if you can't do that because you're not close to them, then of course it's going to feel as if you're just pulling each other apart. And the last reason is because lack of communication. Now, although this all ties in together, you need to be very open in your communication that, one, you have boundaries and there are certain things that you expect. And for the person who says, I don't expect anything from anyone, bullshit. You have to expect something, because then you can't be pissed if you're disappointed. You can't complain if you become disappointed because you didn't communicate your expectations or even set in the boundaries of who you are as a person, your value, and what you're looking for. It is a mutual relationship, right? And you have to really understand that even marriages should have boundaries. You should never push your boundaries for anybody. And so what this book taught me was that essentially long-distance relationships can only work if there's clear communication and it's only temporary. What are my biggest takeaways from the book? Mine is that the book is just a little bit too long. It's about 500 pages. Kiera, the main character, is like the Twilight novel. Like, just make a decision already. Like, when you're reading this book, it's gut-wrenching, it's full of suspense, it is just so powerful. Make a decision already, which really goes to the fact that it's just a little bit too long for my taste, and it could be cut probably about 50 pages, 75 pages short. But going from there, because it ended up becoming a series, and Keelan Kyle is the other guy, what really stood out was the fact that how S.C. Stevens only gave so much. She created Thoughtful, which is his version, his point of view of the first book. So I do give kudos to that. I haven't read Thoughtful. I haven't read this, but if you're looking for a new take on contemporary romance that is not 50 Shades of Grey, that's more true to life, I highly recommend you do check Thoughtless out. Give it the chance. I assure you it's going to piss you off, but it's going to keep you in tune. I highly recommend you give this out. And S.C. Stevens, thank you very much for creating this, because it has allowed me to take a different point of view in contemporary romance. So anyway, guys, that's what we got for today's video. If you have any questions, comments, and concerns, you know where to find me. Make sure you leave a like, a comment. Let me know your questions, comments, or concerns. If you want more of these book reviews, or if you want me to take more of a fictional approach, I'll probably do a little series like that on this channel. I don't know yet, so let me know your thoughts. Until then, make sure you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I am now on LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Tumblr. Until next time, guys, stay tuned. Take care.